Hey, Big U, you better give me my bread back that you extorted me for talking about I better check in and donate to developing options. You saw what I did to Jordan Poole a couple of years ago, so play with me if you want to.
Hell yeah. He got me too, Draymond. We need to pose as guards and go up in that jail and get some get back on that fool.
Alright, you kids get to bed, I get the storybook.
King Cuzz, the gangster beginnings of Big U. Some residents of South Central Los Angeles call the man known as Big U the world's most dangerous Crip. And after hearing this story, I see why. South Central Los Angeles, 1985. The streets was a war zone, blood and Crip sets clashed daily, crack cocaine flooded the neighborhoods, and the LAPD's iron grip only made things worse. In the heart of it all, a young black man named Eugene Henley was coming of age. In the streets, he was called Big U due to his massive 230-pound frame, and he was one of the biggest and strongest teens on the block at that time, but he had something far more dangerous, a strong mind for the game and a plan for a come-up. By the time he turned 19, Big U had already survived multiple shootings and stabbings, outsmarted rival gangs, and earned the respect of his fellow Crips, primarily the Rolling 60s. But this was only the beginning. What followed was a ruthless climb to becoming the most feared Crip in the Western Hemisphere. Around the mid-80s, the gangs in South Cali started incorporating executing their ops mamas, kids, grandmas, and whoever else was attached, just unaliving innocent people for no reason. It became a trend and spread like wildfire. If I can't find my op, I'm finna go unalive his mama or whoever connected to him. Big U's first kill came at age 13. A rival blood had disrespected his set, the world-famous Rolling 60s, and U took it personally. The ambush was quick, brutal, and sent a message. Back in the 80s, they wasn't called YNs, but this young Crip wasn't to be played with. After that first kill, he began feeling himself and started walking around the hood strong-arm, robbing busters for their gold chains and Jordans, simply strolling up on his beach cruiser bike and taking shit. The late actor, Tiny Lister Jr., who played the character Debo in the cult classic movie Friday, said he copied Big U's real life to play the role. Lister was a Compton native and had several encounters with Big U over the years, soaking up his game in the way he terrorized neighborhoods. By the early 90s, Big U had risen through the ranks, consolidating power under the Rolling 60s Crips. He wasn't just a shooter, he was a strategist, sort of like a gangster mastermind, killer nerd. He orchestrated hits, controlled drug territories, and even infiltrated law enforcement with bribes and blackmail. Unlike the Death Row Records leader did in his heyday, Big U didn't just want his neck of the woods. He wanted the world. He forged alliances with Mexican cartels, built pipelines to move weight across state lines, and even sent enforcers to Europe and Asia. The Crips were no longer just a gang. They were an international syndicate. By the 2000s, Big U was a hood legend. The feds had a file on him thicker than a dictionary. They tried to flip his lieutenants, planted informants, and even bugged his baby mama's house, but U was always 2 steps ahead of them. The fluorescent lights of the FBI's Los Angeles field office hummed as Special Agent Vlad pinned another crime scene photo to the growing mosaic of Big U's empire.
I don't give a damn if it takes us 20 years. We're going to get that Big U off the streets, one wire tap at a time.
The bulletin board told a story, shell casings from 83rd Street, surveillance shots of U meeting with Sinaloa lieutenants, a coroner's report on a decapitated informant.
This dude thinks we're idiots or something. Here he is, out here posing as some ghetto savior, helping out all of the poor and unfortunate youth in his town, when, at the same time, he's extorting people. You just can't make this shit up.
Vlad muttered, rubbing his bloodshot eyes. The 3 a.m. coffee tasted like battery acid. Across the room, Rookie Agent Martinez scrolled through financial records. Sir, you need to see this. Henley's grandmother just bought a $2.3 million condo in Marina del Rey, Florida. And there's footage of the Rolling 60s members having a meeting with the coaching staff and GM of the Los Angeles Chargers. Carter barked a laugh. On a Social Security check? That's cute.
Get Peter over at the IRS to freeze every account tied to his granny. And it looks like he bought his son's ticket into the NFL. Get in contact with Roger Goodell and have his people investigate that.
A few hours later, Vlad's phone vibrated. Unknown number. The text showed a photo of his daughter at her middle school soccer game. Below it read, "Big U don't play fair. Do you?" Rival gangs, the feds, and even other Crip sets wanted him gone. But every assassination attempt failed. Big U had eyes everywhere. Cops on payroll, hackers monitoring wiretaps, and a private army of loyal street soldiers. No one could touch him. The warehouse near Compton Creek stank of diesel and betrayal. Big U paced before 6 kneeling men, their rolling 60 seconds bandanas soaked with sweat and blood. His chrome 45 glinted under the single hanging bulb. "Y'all thought I wouldn't find out?" U's voice stayed soft, almost conversational. 4 keys missing, police reports leaked. My own brothers. Crisp and Bulldozer Henderson, the 300-pound Rollin 60s enforcer, whimpered as Big U pressed the barrel of a Desert Eagle behind his ear. "Boss, I got kids." Big U smiled. "And now they'll remember why daddy shouldn't steal from a real nigga."
Why you staring at my booty like that? Since you want to act all thirsty, you need to hit that like and subscribe button for this video. You keep staring at my booty and I'ma tell my man GK and he ain't gonna let you watch his stories no mo.
This story is almost finished, but us here at FBI headquarters just found a few folks from Big U's past that we want y'all to hear. This first informant was facing a 30-year clip in the feds for the manufacturing of fentanyl, but we agreed to shave 29 years off that sentence for this juicy little testimony. Take a listen.
I got a little story to tell y'all fools. I ran into Big U back in like 85 or 86, back when Ronald Reagan was the president. We both was 18 back then. After crack hit the West Coast, I started slanging, but could never keep a reliable connect. Big U was the total opposite. He had access to all kinds of Mexican cartel niggas with hella work, ready to provide him with whatever he asked, but he didn't like the patience that it took to stand out on the corner and sell dope. One day he came to me with a half an ounce or an ounce and told me to sell it and give him a percentage. I was like, hell yeah, I got you, big homie. After I gave him his money, 2 days later, he hit me with another ounce and I repeated the process, building up trust in him to where the third time he came and supplied me with re-up, it was 10 ounces. I remember it like it was yesterday. He came to my house, which is where I was pushing this shit, and dropped the work off and said he'd be back in a week to collect his fetty. As soon as he left, I put a plan into effect. I took that nigga's dope and got the hell out of Dodge. I left the crib and went out to Inglewood to lay low. I tried to get my mama and cousin, who was living with me, to come too, but they didn't want to go. A few days after I left, my mama called me and said a big black-ass dude came around asking for me every day for the previous 3 days. I immediately told her that that dude was a straight killer and she better get out of that house before he come back. She finally took my advice and got up out of there with my cuz. I heard that that fool Big U came through the next day with the intention to smoke my mama as revenge for them ounces I took. But when he kicked in the door after 5 minutes of knocking, it wasn't nobody there. That fool had a 12 gauge pumping 38, ready to blow my mama to bits and pieces, but we tricked his ass and got up out of there.
And here's another one of our informants that we recently interviewed.
I hope them booty bandits in that jail take that old bastard's soul. Me and my husband had been trying to have a baby for 12 years, and I finally got pregnant at age 43. Big U had ordered a hit on somebody concerning some gang ignorance, and his people spotted their enemies at that Walmart in Southgate and opened fire right in the parking lot where my husband and 2-year-old daughter were loading groceries into our car. Some of the bullets hit them both in the crossfire, and now they're both gone, leaving me here on earth by myself. Due to my husband being the breadwinner, I eventually lost our house and car and started going out in the streets, tricking to make some money to survive. One night I ran into this undercover FBI agent, Vlad, who said he'd pay me $40 to put on some strap-on made out of a bull's horn and—
Hey, shut up, bitch. Stick to the Big U stuff only. They don't need to know all of that. And for the record, people, she never penetrated me with that.
Now, Vlad, you know that's not true.
Stop lying, lady. Say one more word and I'll slap some bogus federal charges on your ass so fast you won't see daylight again until you're 100 years old. Cameraman, go ahead and shut this off so the narrator can finish this story.
The .50 caliber gunshot echoed like thunder. As the other screamed, U's phone rang. He checked the caller ID, checked mayor's office and answered cheerfully, "Yes, sir, just handling some employee discipline. Tell Mrs. Johnson my family can't wait to taste her barbecue ribs this 4th of July." Big U had politicians in his pocket, judges on speed dial, and a network so deep that even the CIA took notice. He wasn't just a gangster, he was a crime lord in the same league as Pablo Escobar and Al Capone. Establishing a rap record label, he began initiating the concept of making visiting artists check in when they visited his city. He extorted several rappers and local businesses in an effort to generate Crip capital. Every king has his Judas. For Big U, it was his right-hand man who flipped to the feds in exchange for witness protection. The indictment came down in the first quarter of 2025. RICO charges, drug trafficking, and murder for hire. In the blink of an eye, Big U's world came crashing down on him. When his trial finally arrived on the court docket, the courtroom was a circus. Witnesses disappeared. Jurors got mysteriously sick. Evidence went missing. And Big U smirked the whole time, like Nino Brown receiving that year's sentence for all of the heinous acts he had committed. It looked like Big U would slide too. When the verdict finally came down 3 days later, it read, "Not guilty." The streets of Los Angeles erupted in cheers. Big U walked out of court a free man, but the game had changed. Big U retired as a Crip officially, but whispers say he still pulls the strings from the shadows. New Crip leaders rose in his absence, but none will ever match the legend of Big U. To this day, gangsters tell stories about Big U. Some say he's living in Dubai, others claim he's still in California moving in silence. And one thing's for sure, he's the most dangerous Crip who ever lived outside of Tookie Williams.